of our topic special webinars. Well, great to see you again. So many people are here today. We've received very positive feedback on our previous topic special webinars. So I say, let's continue building this platform. A number of people have already shared suggestions for next topics. So feel free to share your ideas via the chat function right now, or send us an email. We're always available and very welcome for feedback or new ideas. But first of all, please let me introduce myself shortly. I'm Tom van der Dussen, Cluster Manager at Holland Semiconductors. That's the semiconductor group within our high-tech NL community. Well, I'm very happy to work for this great community and be part of the team. We're growing steadily, which is very cool. So together with my colleagues and all of you, I like to play a valuable role to bond our members between each other, but also towards other international markets and sister organizations. Like today, we will meet two of these sister organizations. In case you'd like to know a little bit more about our community or what I can do for you, well, please feel free to drop me a personal message today or give me a call later. Here's my number and my email address on screen. Of course, we are here and always available for you. Well, finally, and before we give the floor to our three guests of today, there are a few practical things about today's sessions I want to run by you. As this is a webinar with a full agenda, do we ask you to be a little bit patient in case you have a question or suggestion. And next to that, please mute your microphone and raise your digital hand in case you want to say something. If you would like to see who's present here today, of course, you can check via the puppet sign on the top right of the screen. And this session will be recorded and published. So if you would like to switch off your camera, if you do not want to be recognized on camera. We will share this recording later via our YouTube channel. But today's topic is the German semiconductor sector. Of course, this is a very wide topic, so we had to bring some focus. In case you want us to learn a little bit more about the other sectors in Germany, we shall organize a new session, of course, but with speakers from the other regions. So, no need to say, there are very strong bonds between Germany and the Netherlands for years. We all visit each other's country regularly and can understand the other language at least a little bit. On the Dutch side, of course, Derek and Danny Christian have played an important role in these developments. Now, when we look into the business relationship, it's very strong between our countries. We exchange lots of products, technology, and services. Just have a look at these numbers and check where all of us can increase them in the future. If we look at the Dutch sector, there are about 200 companies with a dedicated focus on semiconductor business, and half of them, 100, are also a member of high-tech NL. In total, 50,000 employees, which also means families, are active within the Dutch semiconductor business, and about 4% of the national gross product is created by Semicon, like 32 billion euros. And we have a few world leaders in several activities. Well, it clearly shows that the Dutch sector is quite big. Well, today, our three guests at the virtual table for this afternoon, they will tell us a little bit more on their specific role in the chip sector. First speaker of the day is Mr. Ben van der Zon. He's not only active within our high-tech NL community, so a direct colleague from me, but this year also chairman of the Silicon Europe Alliance. Silicon Europe Alliance can be seen as the European community of national communities. The SEA combines the forces of 11 national communities and thus unites thousands of companies which are active within the Semicon branch. Second speaker today is Ms. Alesia. She's the EU project manager at Silicon Saxony. That's the high-tech and Semicon network in East Germany. Silicon Saxony is more than just silicon. It's also about microelectronics, ICT, and other solutions similar. Well, third and final guest today is Ms. Anke Siegmeier. She's the managing director of OptoNet. OptoNet is the photonic network in Thüringen, and Thüringen is located in the heart of Germany and thus perfectly connected towards other German regions. Anke will tell us a little bit more about their local focus on imaging, optoelectronic and micromechanical systems. And many activities in their ecosystem are connected to the ZEISS activities around Jena. So it's about main players, cluster innovation activities, and connecting points to the semiconductor industry. She'll highlight a few of them. But first of all, I'd like to give the floor to Ben van der Zon. Are you ready, Ben, to
yes,
join?
I am, and I'll try to share my screen.
Perfect.
So, do you already see something?
Not yet, at least. We can see you, of course, but not yet your screen.
And why is that?
I'll switch off my presentation, first of all. I've stopped sharing. On the top right, you can share your screen.
Yes, and I have done so.
Okay.
Share content. Yeah, it should work.
Do we have a copy of your presentation available? Ah, things are changing. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's I can make the slides available later on. It's an honor to present the Silicon Europe Alliance. It's an alliance that originated already from almost 10 years ago from a European project that would foster cluster collaboration. And at the end of that project, 4 clusters decided to continue their work for in particularly the high-tech SME companies. Gradually that collaboration, which is not funded or whatever other than by the internal funds of the cluster organizations, is now 10 clusters big, and we have 2 clusters on the, let's say, on the entrance gate, one in Wales in the UK and one in Bulgaria. On this slide you see the participants. I will not go through all them. Silicon Saxony is one of the founding members, like High-Tech NL was from this alliance. Now, what is our main objective is to support, in particular, SMEs to collaborate and to innovate in a European context, so that we can try to make a stronger European fist against what is happening in Asia and what is happening in the United States. And gradually we are getting more and more land covered by these initiatives. Other things that we do is that we organize all kinds of fertilization events, network events, ensuring that partner or companies from partner clusters can attend flagship events, etc. And also we are also quite active in trying to be part ourselves, but also for our members to be part of R&D consortia that are European funded. I think that for now I will let this be the introduction to the Silicon Europe Alliance. Please remember that if you have let's say a question regarding collaboration in Europe or whatever, please contact us. And given that we have over almost 3,000 companies as a member in total, we always can find some partner or some solution that fits your problem. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Ben. 3,000 companies within 11 countries. Well, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, but
Very good. So we can say that the Silicon Europe Alliance creates bridges between the countries and the companies.
yes, and particularly between the companies, but also, of course, also between the countries. That's also something that that we are doing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very nice to see. Just like today, of course, building bridges. But I can also think about international events, perhaps that we visit each other's events.
Well, on events, of course, we have the two main Semicon events, the Semicon Taiwan, which is an activity from the Silicon Europe. Taiwan is an activity from the Silicon Europe Alliance, which is mostly managed by Silicon Saxony.
Okay.
And we have, of course, and which is obviously nice to see. We have a presence of almost all the clusters at the Semicon Europe in Munich in October or November this year, where we have already since years the so-called Allée des Clusters, where all the European clusters are in one area together, and there you can find next to Silicon Saxony, next to Minelogic, next to High-Tech and also the other clusters.
Yeah, exactly. It will be in November.
That's in November, and we are planning to organize some joint activities during that event. We'll keep you posted.
For sure. Thank you, Ed. Please stay available if you can for the rest of the hour.
I'll be here just for the remainder of the day. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Ed. Thank you a lot.
Okay.
I would like to welcome Alesia, Ramanishyna. Are you ready to show a few of your slides and tell us more about the things happening in Saxony?
Yes, absolutely. I hope you can hear me well. I will now start sharing my screen.
Loud and clear. Welcome. Thank you.
Can you hear and see my screen very well? Yeah.
We hear you clearly, but not yet see your screen.
Yet. Yes, sorry.
That was changing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
So thank you very much for having me today. I will try to use this 15 minutes to explain you a little bit more about our network. As has been already said, I'm the European project manager at Silicon Saxony. So I will try to give you an overview on what the network does, about, to give you a bit more information about the region, the high-tech region Saxony, and also to give you at the end, very briefly, an overview of the project that's where we are involved and where your participation as companies and research institutes is very, very welcome. So as I said, we are located in Dresden. This is the center of the German high-tech region. We belong, as I said, to one of the most innovative regions in the EU, with key focus areas on mobility, life science, mechanical engineering, microelectronics, ICT, environmental and energy technologies. And actually, we are proud to say that, we are proud to say that every third microchip produced in Europe is made in Saxony. We have at the region of Saxony about 70,500 employees and about 2,500 companies if we refer to the high-tech region itself. We have a very strong focus and keep top positions in innovation fields like intelligent sensors, MEMS, automation technologies, mobile communication of the latest generation. Now we're actually talking about 6G. We have highest concentration of Fraunhofer institutes all over Germany and Saxony. About 6,000 scientists and engineers educated per year in Saxony, and since 2012 we are very proud that the Dresden Technical University belongs to the German's 11 elite universities. So we have really great opportunities to develop further the region with highly skilled professionals. And we have, of course, several research institutes like Helmholtz and Max Planck, So it's very high concentrated of research and development activities in Saxony. Here, just briefly to show you the development of the ecosystem, the foundation of Center for Microelectronics in Dresden took place in 1961. After the Berlin Wall fell, there was a huge development in the region, especially with increasing growth in the software industry. In 94 and 96, we were lucky to have Siemens and AMD settled down in Saxony, and that of course pushed further the development of the ecosystem with constant growth in highly skilled workers coming to the region. And in 2000, so the further investments were done by Infineon and Global Foundries, also opening the huge manufacturing sites already additionally to Siemens and AMD. And in 2021, when we celebrated 60 years of microelectronics in Dresden, Bosch also has joined and has opened a huge fab in Dresden. So Silicon Saxony as a network, we have 400 members nowadays, and I know that the requests for membership coming every day, so we are constantly growing. And as I said, we are the largest high-tech network in Saxony and one of the largest in microelectronics and ICT classes in Europe. We're self-financed, so we are very proud of it. And we connect manufacturers, suppliers, service providers, colleges, universities, research institutes, public institutions, and industry-relevant startups in Saxony and beyond. So as I have already mentioned, we are self-financed. At the moment, we have 15 employees working in different departments: communication, events, organization and management, EU project management. Currently, we have 8 projects. We participate in 4 trade shows. We organize or co-organize 6 conferences on regional, national, and international level. And as I said, we are proud to belong to the triple helix, system where public institutions, research and education partners, and industry partners can work together. And one of the actually working possibilities, how we arrange those, this work together, is our working groups, which are devoted to certain topics, where absolutely different actors from the ecosystem can make presentations, can discuss different topics, and that of course make this discussions and the network very vibrant and living. We have the cluster management excellence. We have the golden label. So the next slide gives you again a small overview of combination of completely different in terms of size and focus actors in our network. We have corporates, as I mentioned, Infineon, Global Foundries, Bosch, T-Systems, SAP, a lot of SMEs with very innovative profile, a lot of automation companies. We have also a lot of research institutes. A few of them I have already mentioned. And of course, we closely collaborate with the public authorities, being the Regional Development Agency and the Saxony State. We are part of course, of different international and regional and national networks. So here, just to briefly show you that the development in the membership number in 2020, when we were founded, we had 20. Now we have 400. And the business applications of our members are quite diverse. You can see them here. It's from environmental technologies to software and aerospace, communications, semiconductor industry. So you can see it's quite a lot of real application fields by our members. And just here to show you again from the bird view, the huge 5 fabs that we have in Dresden. We are very proud to have them here in the region. And of course, closely working with different divisions and departments of Fraunhofer institutes. So we are more than just a silicon, as you have already seen from the topic. Our thematic focus is on the technological trends of the present and future, being artificial intelligence, quantum computing, robotics, automation, Internet of Things, energy efficiency. And it's really a lot, I know, but in the end, we are very proud that we do have a really diverse focus, and we have great representatives in our network that could really represent each of these topics on the highest level. So here, just to show you briefly our daily business, as I said, we organize conferences and trade shows at Semicon Europe that Ben has mentioned. We always come together with our members. We have one of the biggest joint booths under the Silicon Saxony brand, combining 35 members of Silicon Saxony coming with us. And of course, we have very strong synergies with the Silicon Europe Alliance at the conferences, being Semicon Taiwan, where we had already in the past a joint booth. We, of course, do the lobbying and representation of interests of our members on different levels as well. So just to have here a brief overview that we try to expand our network in terms of application fields, but also in terms of geographical growth and, establishing new contacts with, for instance, Taiwan External Trade Development Council to bring more opportunities for our companies for internalization. Ben has already mentioned that we are proud to be one of the co-founders of the Silicon Europe Alliance, and we are now approaching the new phase of the development of the network with new activities ahead. So just to briefly mention that we are a shareholder of Smart Systems Hub. It's one of the hubs created by the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy. I think in Holland it was a similar activity based on the smart specialization strategies to define the region's strength. So in Dresden and Leipzig jointly, we are very strong in smart systems and Internet of Things and energy. And as the next step from the Silicon Europe, which was on the European level of collaboration, we have created Smart Systems Hub, which is a part of of Silicon Saxony, and now it's a next step evolvement into the EDIH Saxony, which includes Smart Systems Hub, Spin Lab, Accelerator, and Smart Infrastructure in Leipzig, and the Regional Development Agency in Saxony. And here, just if I have still a little bit of time, I think I do, just to give you a very brief overview of the projects where I'm actually in charge of, and where you are highly welcome to participate, because as you know that the European projects aim at tackling as many SMEs and research institutes as possible, going beyond the network. Ascent Plus gives you the free of charge transnational access to the European nanoelectronics infrastructure. Basically, it gives you a huge an access to the huge amount of different equipment for microelectronics and nanoelectronics for state-of-the-art processing, modeling, simulation data sets, metrology characterization. You know that in your country you collaborate with one RTO, but sometimes certain processes or certain equipments are not available in your country, and please try to submit your technical inquiry, and you can get access to further research and technological institutes with their great expertise, being IMEC in Belgium, Fraunhofer in Germany, CLETI in France, Tyndall in Ireland, and INL in Spain and Portugal. METIS I skip for now, but you can read more. Mind for Machines is interesting project for those who are developing IoT solutions to digitalize manufacturing sector. And just a few weeks ago, we opened a new open call to collect the applications, and a company being SME and being an ICT solution provider can develop, can participate, can be funded up to 60,000 euro. And the most important that you find the end user manufacturing company where your solutions could be actually implemented. So please also don't hesitate to contact me, because this is an open call on the European dimension, and we would be happy if Dutch companies could also profit from that. And now it's the most exciting part for me, because actually one of the projects that I'm leading myself and we are a coordinator of is Excite, where it gives the platform for in-depth collaboration between SMEs and clusters and accelerators, EDIH, on cross-European level. So the idea is that If you would like to discover Silicon Saxony region or the regions of other partners, which you can see here on the right side of my slide, being Gaia in Spain, Policies in France, Business-Vilnius, Mazovia cluster in Poland, or Digital Transformation Innovation cluster in Bulgaria, if you would like to discover the ecosystem and to meet the innovation and tech partners in that region, and you don't know how to start, how to get this opportunity for internalization and discovery of a new region, please contact me, because that's exactly what the project is for. And high-tech NL companies are very highly welcomed, because basically, I can give you an example. You can go to one of the events that we are organizing in Silicon Saxony, being Decompiled for IT community, or Silicon Saxony Day, which is the largest innovation and like biggest conference in Saxony region, which brings all our members and international guests together. You can come for one day, participate in the event, and for 2 other days, you can be a part of the program, a business agenda set up basically for your needs. You can communicate which type of companies and which technological focus you would like to meet. And we can set up to 3 minimum days business agenda for you to meet the partners you would like in our network and discover the innovation potential of the region. And for even this, you could be partly funded and reimbursed for your travel costs. So just to give you an example, for Germany, if you come for a minimum 3-day stay, you will be reimbursed, I think, 415 euro, which is a nice supplementary incentive to visit the region where we help you to organize highly targeted B2B matchmaking opportunities with companies. You can discover the region, the ecosystem, the ETH, Fraunhofer Institute, so many more actors, the one that you would like to discover. So I think this is it from my side. Hope I didn't really take too much time. For any question for the European projects that you would like to be part of, which would be absolutely in line also with the Silicon Europe Alliance activities that we have together with High-Tech NL, you can contact me. If you have very specific questions for technology, and maybe a partner search for your business daily life activities, you can also contact my colleague Stefan Ulich, who was not able to join today. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm available for questions when we have question session. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Alesia. Great to learn more about your background and all activities in east of Germany. We all know and have seen it's a huge semicon sector, active in many branches. I've just read, currently there are about 70,000 employees active within 2,500 companies. That's a lot. And within the next 8 years, you'd like to grow up to 100,000 people employed. Just one quick question, if allowed. Do you think this will be, those extra 30,000 people will be like local people getting employed within Semicon, or do you have a focus on international growth, attracting people from abroad?
Yes, absolutely. We have quite a lot of activities, and we have one of the focus of our strategy group on Fachkräfte, so the professionals, attracting them from inside country, but also from abroad, making the region more attractive. We have a joint booth also at the Career Start in Dresden, which typically attracts also quite some international participants. So yeah, it's actually quite a big problem, I think, everywhere, which we're trying to address and on a structural level with our companies, and to promote the region more and more abroad to be more attractive.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Of course, you can expect also within the Netherlands we like to grow. So I think this can be a topic addressed by us, and then I mean the Silicon Europe Alliance, towards local governments, but also towards Brussels, for instance. How can we keep growing? If we want to grow in total from the chip sector with 8% benefit to the global production into 20%, well, we can build factories, but we also need people working over there. Yeah. Okay. So it's also also from Saxony side, looking at international growth, how to attract people from abroad. Okay, well, thank you. I've just placed in our chat www.siliconsaxonyday.de, or was it .com? I'm not sure.
You will have the presentation at the end, so don't worry. It can be, of course, checked as well right now. Just a second.
Because it's very great that you have a financial benefit for people.
It's DE, yes. And the Silicon Saxony Days on the 28th of June. Okay. We expect a very high number of participants, including the internationals. The topics can be found, the thematic islands and descriptions of the speakers and agenda can be found on website. But again, you're highly welcome, either if you come for one day and you're not part of this exchange program where you have financial support. Only if you visit for one day, it's also a great opportunity to discover the network.
Sure. Okay, good to know. Thanks, Alesia. Well, now I'd like to give the floor to Ms. Anke Siegmeier. Welcome, Anke. Great to see that you can join today and tell us more about the photonics market around Thüringen in the heart of Germany. Are you ready to tell us a little bit more and perhaps share your screen? There it is.
Thank you so much, Tom. Yeah, you can hear me as well, right?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah.
We can see your screen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Also, thank you, Alesia. So we are strongly connected colleagues with Silicon Saxony to draw the line. So we are the neighbors in the West. So my name is Anke Siegmeier. I'm managing director together with my colleague Nora of OptoNet, which is the photonics cluster in central Germany. So actually the region is called Thüringen. And many of you may know the city of Jena, where the main number of our members are located. So you know about the cluster topics, so what a cluster is. But I promised Tom to not talk about just our region, but to give you a bit a more broader view on Germany. So that's why I put up this first slide. So here you see, of course, the German map. So that's where we are located in Jena, the center of Germany. You saw the presentation of Alesia from Dresden, so part of former Eastern Germany, and somehow sharing the same story with a strong background in natural sciences and microelectronics in Dresden. And we in Jena, for a long time, decades, even the 19th century, we had one of the first optics clusters. So strongly connected. Carl ZEISS, when he moved or found the scientist Ernst Abbe to set up a microscope production on a more scientific level together with the engineer Otto Schott, who brought the materials in. So the other clusters in Germany, as Germany is strong in photonics, and I really appreciate talking to you as somehow the partner industry or supplying industry for semiconductor, high-tech and all. So thank you again. So we have many opportunities finding photonics partners in Germany. So when I'm talking about photonics, maybe bringing this ahead of my presentation, is we talk about the technology related or to light. So some of you may call photonics the pure technology when it comes to photons on chip, but we are talking about everything related to the technology of light. So, looking to the Netherlands, my colleagues in Berlin area from Optech BB are really strong when it comes to integrated photonics. We have colleagues in northern part of Germany, strong around Wetzlar. We have the colleagues who are very focused in optical machinery and manufacturing. Southern Germany in Baden-Württemberg related to laser. You of course know Trumpf, and in Bavaria also a very strong region around Munich and other places in Franconia. So Bayern Photonics, also my colleague. But thanks for inviting us. So we are one of the strongest networks, I proudly would like to say, as we have at the moment 111 members, which is quite unique considering that this region only has 2.5 million inhabitants. So it's a very dense optics region, and this is also due to our Carl ZEISS history and the history that came that developed until the Berlin Wall came down in 1989. So we let me skip that. So we have when the Berlin Wall came down, Carl Zeiss company was really a big player in the field, nationally owned, of course, with more than 10,000 employees that time. So when the Berlin Wall came down, we had many kinds of spin-offs out of that big Carl Zeiss players. So that's why this kind of ecosystem here in the region developed. And Carl Zeiss that time had all fields of optics in their value chain. So the laser, the components, of course, that was the majority, metrology, everything related to materials, even microelectronics. So all these department leaders founded their own companies who now celebrating, some of them, their 30th anniversary. That's some background on our region, and you can, I would say, traveling much internationally, so you can find any kind of partner related to photonics coming to our region. So we have we're doing a survey every 2 years with university until, let's say, the last CEO answers. So it is 180 companies, of which 111 are members with OptoNet. But what I would like to highlight is the total workforce, which is 16,200, which is a lot. Regarding this number of inhabitants, photonics has an export quote in the region of almost 70%. And what I would like to highlight is that the R&D quote is 12%. So if you consider that our region is so the majority, or the average company size is 80 employees, and only 4% have more than 250 employees. So looking at this small size the companies have, this is quite impressive. So we are not a mass production, or not a region where we have a large scale photonics production. It is mostly highly R&D oriented. So here I would like to, of course, proudly like to share our slide of the members. So of course, all of you know Carl Zeiss. You may also know Jenoptik, the other big players, a big player. Then we have companies, a highly innovative SME, looking at Semicon, for example, or later mentioning Optics Fab, who are within EUV optics. We also have many other startups, Space Optics. We also have a hardware-oriented quantum startup, where you find that it's Quantum Optics Jena. So and many companies also related to photonics for life science and sensing. So sensing also is a connecting point both clusters share. So and strongly, I mentioned before, the connection in between industry and academia. See, we also have 3 Fraunhofer institutes, of which the Fraunhofer Institute of Applied Optics and Precision Engineering is quite strong, but also the IKTS, also having a branch or an institute in Dresden area, Production Microsystems. So many companies within our network that are dealing with different technologies and applications. So I put this slide quite in the beginning, because that you see who is driving our cluster activities on this from a strategic point of view. So it's like always, it's our goal to have one SME CEO being the chair of the board. So this is Grintech and Gradient Index Lenses. We have the Technical University of Ilmenau, Carl Zeiss. Jenoptik here is not mentioned. They have a side role at the moment, but will be back this fall. Then the Fraunhofer AMS Sensors, Heracle in specific fiber optics, and power electronics company. Really interesting, Jabil Optics being the optical brain for the second largest manufacturer, Jabil worldwide, directly after Foxconn in China. So the optical brain located here in Jena, which is somehow a blueprint, or let's say why Jena is really an interesting region for international corporates. So due to our Carl Zeiss history, we have a strong background in components, optical components and metrology, also laser playing a strong role, and companies that are active in several fields, optoelectronics and fibers, and also materials and others. So here you don't need to understand all these science, but due to this history, still the highest expertise is on high high precision components and optical systems in our ecosystem. So yeah, drawing the line also and making the connection to the Netherlands, what is our one of our major partners and also one of my favorite colleagues. I've never met a single Dutch person who was not that nice. So yeah, one of our key sales market is in the Netherlands and also, of course, in generally in Western Europe. So one of the biggest, second largest sales market, followed by North America, and also China played an important role 2 years ago. Let's see how this evolves. So I wanted to highlight that. What photonics, the buzzword would be as a key enabling technology, but where do our major technologies, which are the major application areas? So as I said, optical components and systems. So there's someone not muted, I'm sorry. Okay, so it goes to many of the components and systems go to manufacturing and production systems, to healthcare and life sciences, to automotive and mobility, energy, and of course semiconductor industry. And that's why I now would like to go a bit into detail. Of course, many of you may know, and this is actually also where this core relation also related to politics, of course, and partnerships are around the partnership in between ASML and Carl Zeiss, and it is within the EUV lithography technology. And in 2020, the consortium or the partnership in between the Fraunhofer IOF, here you see Sergei, and you also see Peter from Carl Zeiss and also Michael from TRUMPF, who took the laser port. This was the consortium having developed these technology together with in partnership with ASML, and they won the German Future Prize, which is really highly nominated by the German President Steinmeier. So this is the core where you see in which depth or in which precision our technology here in the place goes, and we will see who will be, what will be around and maybe even beyond EUV. So going a bit more into detail regarding our special relation here is that our Minister President Ramelow visited the Netherlands in 2018. I also was part of that trip. We have Professor Totzek, who's one of the fellows of Carl Zeiss, so one of the innovation leaders within that big Carl Zeiss group. We have the director of the Fraunhofer IOF, and we miss him really much. He is now retired. This is Professor Groß, one of the international most well-known guys in optical design. So when it comes to optical design and all things related, we are in the right place. Here you see Martin from ASML, people from TNO, and also from your political partners. So OptoNet as a cluster is strongly, here they were signing kind of an academic partnership in between Delft and TNO and our university. Let's say having synergies in your special fields, which is definitely into electronic semiconductor. We are bringing in the photonics part. So that maybe as a background, I also like to see pictures. Again, to summarize, we can provide optical components and systems for ultra-precision manufacturing. We are more and more heading to extreme miniaturization, imaging and metrology, materials and coatings, laser material processing, and of course, in the manufacturing of all kinds of devices, handling robotic system, min-machine interaction, which is not possible without optics, okay? So I even would like to step more into detail. It's that members we have EUV imaging, illumination and collector optics provided by Optics Fab, having, I would say, the most sexy clean room I ever saw here in Jena. We have one SME producing precision optics, optomechanical systems for the deep ultraviolet, visible and near infrared spectral range. For inspection, for layer thickness, for example, structural elements and alignment, and for process control. This is for example, done by Photonics Precision Optics Gera. Here in optic is in a broad field, but specialized in micro-optics and wavefront measurement system. We have the VCSEL technology and dye structures where AMS sensors here in Jena is involved, and more the packaging topic for integrated photonics. From Fraunhofer IOF, we have an SME in high power electronic solutions for semiconductors, for example, and having let's say a merger or acquisition that a KLA Orbotech did with laser imaging systems here in Jena, also producing machinery and equipment for a semiconductor manufacturing. So there's some technological keywords what we could offer. There's even more. So when it comes to whatever fibers, and this is what I wanted to highlight, giving you an idea on what to find here in our place and in all in other areas in Germany. Of course, they are strong in other fields, but I could also provide contacts to wherever you like to head to. There's projects going on also with my colleagues in Berlin and others. So what I also, I really appreciated the presentation of Ben, seeing the Silicon Alliance Europe. We also have created out of Jena together with my colleague Jack here in the front. He's from the Arizona Optics Valley. But here you may know this guy. This is Ron van der Kolk from Photonics NL. So we are closely cooperating in a so-called Photonics Alliance. It is a club of dedicated cluster people. So I could also provide contacts to other photonics regions. Here we have John Lincoln from UK, Juha from Finland, Alison from Scotland. This is my colleague Nora, strong in Eurofields and also in consortia regarding the European SHIPEC and others. So heading to more photonic integrated circuits is Maciej from the Polish technology platform. They are really strong in that field as well. Michael from Austria. We have Madison from Quebec in Canada, and also this lady is from Finland. And again, our entry door to the US is Jack Schumann, also part of SPIE, for example. SPIE offering also interesting conferences on semiconductor related areas. So this was a short run through the photonics region of Central Germany. I really appreciate if we could get in touch, and thank you very much for your attention.
Well, thank you, Anke. Very cool to see these insights into the ecosystems at the heart of Germany. I can tell, well, huge investments into the photonics sector. It's really nice to see. We see the same thing happening into the Netherlands. So this looks promising to me for the future about photonics. And also very nice to see that you already have some close contacts with Dutch companies. Well, of course, we are quite famous about our machine builders. So yeah, let's use their knowledge. Although it comes from the Semicon business, well, let's see where you can use it into the photonics. And also nice to see that there's a global photonics alliance. So next to the Silicon Europe Alliance, there's also global photonics. Good, very good. Well, if you have no remarks for this moment, I'd like to give the stage to all of you. Is there anybody that likes to step forward and share a first idea or suggestion or question? Can also run via the chat.
I'd like to just share my compliments to this presentations for the presentations from Anke as well as from Alesia. Tom, we are neighbors, so we see each other every day. But I also like to thank you for well, highlighting all the capabilities that there are and all the options that are open for us. Just to introduce myself, I'm Jeff from Photonics. We produce highly sort of spec reticles and masks, and well, if not most of the companies that you have mentioned are represented in Germany by my colleague Michael Guggle. He's also in this call. Michael, maybe you may say your words later, but it's a compliment to be part of the Dutch high-tech NL. And Michael is also a part of the Silicon Saxony, so that's great. Anyway, I just see this as a next step to collaborate even further, because As I see it, with photonics and with the semiconductors as well as the photonics industry, the advancements are so wide. I believe there's was it you mentioned something like beyond beyond. You used the word beyond, and I say let's say do this beyond rocket science, and also the options are just excellent. So thank you. Just a thank you. That's all I want to share. Michael, maybe you want to share something from your end?
No, only some words. Thank you also for the information. So I was familiar with you, Alesia, what you're talking about. So it's great to be a part of your membership of Silicon Saxony, and I think we have more to do with photonic and with OptoNet. So that's my wish to get more in this network. But yeah. Thank you. So no idea what I can present or give more in this. We are a growing area. So I'm located near Munich, but as I look to Dresden and also to Thüringen, so I'm mostly in contact there with XFAB. So that's a big company from us. But the biggest one is Jena Optik, also for us. And optical products. Yeah, so everything is said. What you have done. Thank you very much.
Well, cool. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you, Michael. Great to hear that you are so enthusiastic and thankful. Of course, we like organizing this kind of webinars or meetings. So great to hear that you can appreciate it. Anke, you would like to mention?
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing or for making this connection as well to Jeff and Michael. So, of course, we are very proud of what's going on here and what's happening also with EUV and all these components. So, for example, one of my favorite topics also freeform optics, where we are really having cool consortia. But nevertheless, I told you about the history, and still it's in components who having a bit not the miniature size that is needed, and you mentioned that, Jeff. There's so many challenges coming up, so we need to learn and need to make the connection more to your side. So, and even Silicon Saxony. So borders are somehow mixing up also when it comes to EU Chip Act and European resilience and things that we so working closer together. And of course, learning from your side. I really appreciate what's going on in the Netherlands. You're so strong in photonics and in these integrated circuits, which offers a lot of opportunities. And yeah, but we need to adapt to that.
Thank you, Anke. Yeah, your excitement is same here. I mean, semiconductors. We do semiconductors, chips. I mean, foundries, and although that is high end, it's still to us. As a mass supplier, as something like we call standard, although it's high end. But then all the optics have miniaturization, like I do with Lowers or Keyoptic or these companies. I'm trying to work with there's someone here in the call too, Oscar van Deurzen. I need to connect with him too. I like to engage with Ben also to see what we can do more for photonics. I mean, I like these challenges. So yes, please also contact us. Do it both ways. We're open to any what is it challenge that we could explore and mature or materialize together. Okay, thank you.
Yes. So, Tom, I don't know, I don't want to interrupt, but can I make kind of a suggestion? Or because we were at Laser Munich 2 weeks ago, which was really refreshing seeing people again, and also met people from Lyonics. And we discussed having, because I mentioned we need to learn and to see where is the joint topics to talk to each other. So maybe I'll come back to you, Jeff, and ask you for kind of a format or an event where we could discuss and bring in several So the cluster perspective, because I really strongly believe in the multiplier effect that you have, and also we are bringing the members to learn on from your side what is the need, what sizes are we talking, who is doing what already. So that would be really cool, I think.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so we're open for that, of course.
Oh, very nice. It really works, meeting people. Cool. Alesia, if I can ask you a question, where can you support or partner for business collaboration or projects to build more consortia? You already mentioned something about the Excite project.
Yes, of course. As I mentioned already, you are very highly welcome to contact us if you have a very specific technological challenge in mind or competence to offer to our network, and you would like our support with, bringing the right contacts to you, or visiting our region via the Excite program, which is cluster exchange program, and really profit from those 3 days intensive discussions and exchanges. So yeah, if you are building a European consortia for R&D projects, or you just would like to discover the ecosystem and different actors of the value chain, contact us. And as I said, the network is very big, and that's why if you communicate the specific focus you would like to deep dive into, we will be able to support you.
Okay, well, good to know. We are supporting 2 new projects within the Netherlands. I like to introduce some team members later to you. Erik Kloeke and Ben van der Zon are also online, of course. I'm thinking about the Flexit and metrology projects. They also have a touch point with integrated photonics, so maybe for you, Anke, can also be interesting. I'll share afterwards. Let's see where we can do some collaboration, exchange knowledge. As we see those big investments going on via OptoNet into the Jena region, I'm almost sure there must be a connection with those 2 projects. Okay, good to learn, good to learn. Somebody else with a remark or a question? We still have a few minutes left. No, not exactly, not right now. Well, okay. Yeah, well, same for you, Anke, of course. If you have any, new or other ideas for cooperation. I'm thinking about the precision beurs, which will be later this year in Veldhoven. Am I right that you will join from OptoNet, or?
Yeah, so our region, as we are also recognized as an industry, is offering a joint booth, because Precision Beurs is kind of interesting for many companies, not only just within photonics, who are doing high precision manufacturing. So they will have a joint booth from our region. There will be people there having a dinner as well, I think, and I will check if I can come personally. I'm recommending that trade show. I just did this morning for someone who was doing really cool surface control.
Okay,
Tom?
very good.
Tom?
Anne? Yes.
Yeah. Ivan, he has a question. He raised hands,
Yes.
and I have one remark after that question.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Ivan, are you there? Hi.
Thank you very much. Hi. Nice webinar, guys. Very informative. I just wanted to drop a couple of notes here. As you might know or might not know, I am Ivan Stojanovic. I work at the local investment agency OptoNet, which is closely affiliated to some of the major players of Semicon and integrated photonics in our region, but we also have connections with some companies in the German part of the photonics land, let's say. And it's kind of just to reach out if somebody's looking for connections to our companies that we have in the eastern part of the Netherlands, Overijssel and Gelderland. I guess that you could reach out to me and I can hook you up with the right connections there. I've been involved with the Photon Delta National Photonics Initiative, and I've also been involved with the National Growth Fund, Next Gen High Tech, where there's a lot of photonics development going on, development of new photonics tools for the sake of the next generation of photonics chips. So I can get you in touch with the right companies for collaborations. And other than that, I'm always ready and up for some, sparring and exchanging of ideas for the sake of, for instance, using European schemes and funding options that are available if you're looking for consortium partners. I'm here to help out.
Thanks, Ivan. Thank you for stepping in. And indeed, I know you have a wide network and lots of knowledge. So yeah, thanks for sharing.
Welcome. Thanks for the nice event. It was very informative.
Thank you. Good to hear. Anne, you would like to place a remark? You're muted. Can I switch you on?
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Just a small remark to everybody who is now attending, and the people who are not attending, they don't hear this, but we will send out a link with the recordings of this meeting. I will do that somewhere tomorrow morning. I'm not sure if I can make it today, but tomorrow morning you will get the link to this, and you may share this link, because I'm sure that Silicon Saxony and OptoNet and we all are happy to spread the word of this kind of webinars and this kind of organizations that can help us. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Anne. Absolutely. Looking at the public, I'm looking at the clock. Well, it's 16:31 on my side. Is there anybody with a question or a final remark? Otherwise, I would like to thank all and to say that we like to keep meeting you via our topic special platform. We think it's very important to be available for healthy discussions and exchange point of views like we just did in the final hour. And well, what we've learned is that it is very much appreciated. And as mentioned in the beginning, about an hour ago, please feel free to send us an email with an idea for a topic, so we can talk about it next time. You can find all information on our website, hollandsemiconductors.nl, and please follow us on LinkedIn as well. We just reached our 1,000 follower like a week ago. So we've grown from 500 to 1,000 in a year time. It says a lot. People know where to find us. Well, the next topic special will take place just after the summer break. So like September, we'll let you know the exact date very soon. And I hope to meet you again. Feel free to give me a call or drop me an email if you have any questions. Like Anne just mentioned, we will share the presentations and the recording of today's webinar via email by tomorrow. Feel free to forward to anybody you know, so we can get in touch and exchange ideas. As we already know and have learned again today, there are strong bonds between Germany and the Netherlands, and we are, well, all in the growing markets. Semicon and integrated photonics will keep going forward. So yeah, let's help, let's support, of course. And I'm looking forward. I'll be in Munich for sure in November. So I hope to meet some people in real life over there again. Well, thank you all. Thank you. I wish you a nice afternoon. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anke.
Thank you very much, Tom. Looking forward to the new formats. Please invite us, and depending on the topic, I will try to, incentivate our members, with a specific technological background and focus to join the discussions.
No,
thank you.
please.
Thank you very much. Today it was like a door opener, I think, or reopener to the region, and depending on the topic, we will be very happy to participate in the new discussion.
Feel free to invite people from your side. For sure. Thanks, Anke. Thank Alesia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Have a nice evening all.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
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 Bye.